Hi friends, today we'll be talking about target identification and validations. So I'll be taking you back little what is the need of target identifications as we have discussed before. For bringing one drug into the market, it takes 10 to 12 years times and it spends more than $500 million. So by using computational approach, in silico approach, we are bringing drugs. We design the drugs by different means, starting from identifying the diseases, identifying the targets against the disease, and finding that drugs against the targets, and then going to the preclinical studies and scaling up all those things, make it one formulations, then coming to that clinical trials, and then post clinical trials, and again we have to get approval from that IND, means investigational new drugs developments, and then again we have to go for NDA, new drug administrations approvals, and followed by taking approval from like in a FDA before that post clinical studies, right? So there are plenty of steps are there to bring one drug into the market, right? So it takes an average 12 to 15 years of time, and it spends more than 500 millions dollar. So the beauty of this approach is to identify the target and validate the target computationally, is that it reduces the cost and the time. So the objective of this study is to identify and validate the target through computational approach. So once we see that, what are the resources are there for identifying the targets and then validate the targets? Of course, identifying targets, identifying the drugs, the resources which comes from the like all the five uh, kingdoms, right? Plant kingdoms and animal kingdoms. So right. So the resources are the natural resources, maybe the plants, maybe the animals, maybe the fungi, right? Maybe the microbes, bacteria, virus. So many other resources are there, which we can say that natural resources, and some synthetic resources are also there, and some definitely we need to take help from the databases, tools, right, and other online resources to identify the targets and drugs and validate the targets, right? So what are the steps which is really required to identify the targets, and then we'll come to that validate the targets. So first thing is we need to think about that molecule of interest. Second thing is that we have to evaluate their potency, either that molecule of interest is responding well for being a target or not, and then we have to design a protocol to measure their biological activities against the target, and then we have to screen the numbers of molecules or thousands of molecules, right, and lakhs of molecules against that targets, and we have to identify the best molecule through the high throughput screening or virtual screening methods, right? And once we will identify the like a lead compound through that virtual screening and that high throughput screening methods, again we need to optimize the lead compounds which we have like identified through that computational approaches. And then once we will get that the best lead, then again we need to evaluate the lead, how the lead is, where the lead can be applied and how the response will be. And then we have to analyze and then implement in certain protocols, right? And which can be used in as a drugs against any target or any disease. Right, so there are two powerful approaches which we have discussed before, is that okay, how to identify the drugs, how to identify the targets is called that quantum mechanics and molecular mechanics approaches, right? As we know that quantum mechanics approaches based on that wave functions, Schrodinger equations which we use for identifying their potential energy surfaces, energy terms, and the molecular mechanics generally based on that force field approaches, molecular force field approaches, which are responding their energy levels in terms of that bonded and non-bonded interactions. So generally we must understand that like quantum mechanics approach, when and where it can be used, and molecular mechanics approach where we can use. So quantum mechanics approaches where the systems or molecules which we have the less than 100 atoms, so where and there itself we can use these approaches, and the molecules of interest, if the atoms are more than hundreds, or in terms of the hundreds, 200, 300, and the thousands atoms if is there, then there we will be applying the quantum mechanics approaches. So in between quantum mechanics and molecular mechanics, one boundary is there where these type of approaches to be used for a particular purpose. So in that aspects, if we see that where we can use the quantum mechanics approaches, so quantum mechanics approaches, as we have discussed, it is based on the semi-empirical methods, and which considers electronic effects and electronic structures of the molecules, calculate charge distributions and orbital energies, and can simulate for bond breaking and their formations. And the upper limits for these methods is that the systems which, or the molecule which have the less than 100 or 120 atoms. So computational tools in the molecular mechanics, if we talk about, as we have discussed, like molecular mechanics is used to see that series of charged atoms which are linked to each others through the springs. So it actually described that how these bonded interactions and non-bonded interactions, which is responding to the energy, right, which returns the energy in terms of that bonded and non-bonded interactions. Bonded interactions in terms of bond angles, bond length and torsional angles, and non-bonded interaction in terms of the van der Waal, electrostaticals, and some hydrophobic type of interactions. So definitely these techniques applicable for that macromolecules, and even in some cases the in micromolecules also, and it's only based on that force field methods. So here you can see that between the quantum mechanics and molecular mechanics, one boundaries are there, interfaces are there, right? So that is like, once we apply the quantum mechanics, if it gives that good response, then we'll come to that molecular mechanics for studying that number of molecules, or for studying for macromolecules. So here you can see that the quantum mechanics approach has been applied, and then this is the interfaces are there, right? And then it has come to that large interface is called that molecular mechanics force field, we say that, right? So some partitions are there between that quantum mechanics and the molecular mechanics. So how the computational tools is really beneficial for these approaches to identify the targets and identify the drugs, right? So in here in these tables is describing in two ways: either your ligand structure is known, or that your receptor is known, your target is known, right? So if ligand structures, if unknown, and receptor is unknown, right? There are two approaches are there actually, right? For this one is that ligand based drug design is called that indirect approaches to identify the drugs and targets, and another is that structure based drug design is the direct approaches to identify the drugs and targets. So in that cases, two possibilities are there. Either the target will be known or unknown, or their ligand will be inhibitors, right, which are like an associate with the target is known or unknown. In both the cases, different approaches will be there. So one approach is like if suppose ligand structure is unknown and a receptor is unknown, then what are the tools and approaches can be used for that? So definitely we will be using the approaches which will be responding to generate the structures, right? So plenty of approaches are there which generate 3D structures, like homology modelings are there, ab initio approaches are there, docking and threading methods are there, right? High throughput screening methods are there, combinatorial library methods approaches are there, chemical library approaches are there where we identify the target molecules. So this is the case when we see that we don't have any idea about the ligands and that about the targets. So these are the approaches where we use to identify their similarity or dissimilarities, right, of target as well as that ligand structure. Another case is that where ligand is unknown but receptor is known. So in that case, if receptor is known, so we need to look into that where is the active site of that receptors, where drug type of molecules or ligand type of molecules will bind it. So for this we use like in a receptor drug based drug design methods, de novo design methods, where we start from the scratch, and 3D searching methods to identify some type of hits through that search methods, right, substructure methods. And third scenario is that where ligand is known and that receptor is unknown. So where ligand is known, receptor is unknown, so that method is called that indirect methods. So that method is called the ligand based drug design method, analogs based drug design methods. So for that 2D, 3D QSR and pharmacophore based QSR are there. So what is the QSR modeling, 2D, 3D and pharmacophore modeling? So already we have discussed plenty of things before. What is 2D QSR, what is 3D QSR, what is pharmacophore modeling QSR. I don't think now it's required to discuss all these approaches once again, right? Okay. So, and fourth and last approach is to identify the targets when when ligand is known and structure is also known. That means this type of structures already available and synthesized by that XRD methods or NMR methods, right, or homology modeling method, ab initio methods, threading methods. These are the computational methods and some experimental methods which I mentioned, like XRD, COSI, and NMR methods. So where that ligands is already associated with that structures and target structures. So we know everything about the structures, like their active site, binding site, the interaction mechanism, right, and how it's interacting, right, and is there any of cofactors associated with that. So everything is known. For that we say that direct design drug design methods, that we say that is structure based drug design methods. So more important things, these are the actually the approaches and the methods are there to identify the targets based on the different scenarios, right, where ligand is known, ligand is unknown, receptor is known and receptor is unknown. So now if you see that here target identifications scheme till that till identifying the drugs. So if you say that the similar approaches are there so like ligand docking methods are there, quantum mechanics, molecular mechanics methods are there, homology modeling methods are there, like fragment based design methods, molecular dynamics methods. So these are the, already we have discussed, these are the structure based drug design methods are there. These are the structure based direct design methods are there, right? So ligand dockings, where we take plenty of analogs of any molecules which can be screened in a particular active sites or binding sites, right? We use for all for this approach, we use quantum mechanics approach, molecular mechanics approach. Homology modelings is that where we can generate the structures, right, by using that template sequences, ancestral sequences, ancestral structures, right? And another approaches is called that ligand based drug design approaches, where we say that pharmacophore mappings, QACR and similarity search methods. So pharmacophore mapping, what is actually pharmacophore mapping? These things already we have discussed before, right? I don't think you have any questions about this, right? But I'll just remind you all those things which you have discussed, that pharmacophore, what is pharmacophore, right? Like if you say that atomic orientations of any ligands or any drugs which are oriented into the receptor sites, right, is called that pharmacophore, right? And some features are associated with that interactions and that orientation, and those features we say that either it may be, and this is all the atomic orientation. So this all the features based on the atomic levels only. Either maybe that the number of acidic atoms which are responding to the target site, number of basic atoms which are responding to the target site, a number of positive charge atoms, a number of negative charge atoms, number of polar atoms, number of non-polar atoms, number of hydrophobic atoms, number of ring atoms which are associated with it, all this type of binding, and their orientation in terms of that their bond angle and their bond length terms. And if you say that QSR, just remind all these things what we have discussed about QSR, 2D QSR, 3D QSR, in terms of that QSR is a mathematical equations which correlate wide variety of physiochemical descriptors with that biological activities, right? So by applying all these approaches, we are identifying the lead. Once we identifying the lead, we need to do that their optimization. How to optimize these things, already in previous lectures we have talked about that lead optimization, drug optimization techniques and their methods. And once we optimize, then we will find the drug candidates. Once we find the drug candidate, then again we need to analyze the drug response, drug activities, right, and then apply into that as a drugs in a particular target or disease which we have done for a particular targets. So if we see here that how the drug are responding in terms of the good drugs and good ligands, right? So good drugs and ligands. So don't be confused about. I don't think you will be having any confusion now at this stage. What is ligands and what is drugs? Ligands is a chemical compound which may have the ability to become a drugs, right? So drug is not a ligand, right? Sorry, ligand is not a drug, right? Okay, ligand may have the ability to become a drugs based on their properties, which we need to study about that, right? So if you say that there is a need that the properties and activity relationship, right? And here we say that in good drugs we need to do that activity and property optimizations, right? And here in the good ligand we need to always consider about that activity optimizations, right? So if you say that through these approaches, all right, in QSR modeling, one example I have given, many drugs are available in the market by using these methods. You say that number of drugs which has been discovered so far, like erythromycin analogs drugs which work as a antibacterial drugs, new sulfonamide derivatives as also antibacterial drugs, and so on. Many drugs are which are available by these methods, right? even that by applying these analogs against any targets, by that approaches also we can identify the targets. So right. So and once we identify the targets, right, how to validate the target, that is more important thing. Is that my next lectures will be in more detail about that, how to validate the targets, right. There are certain parameters are there that structure should have, like have that strong interactions with the ligands, right, have the good resolutions, right, and have so good R factors, right, and it also follow that the rules which is defined by the Ramachandran sir, right, as a Ramachandran plots in terms of that phi and psi angles, right, plots are there, 2D structures plots are there for phi and psi angles, and those angles should fall into a permissible regions in the graphs. So by that way, plenty methods are there to validate the structures. Even we have the resources, online resources and tools and databases are there to understand the validity of the targets in terms of that SAVS servers are there, where we analyze their structure analysis, and their validation servers, that is called the SAVS, structure analysis and validation servers. In that there are plenty of tools are there in that servers, like a ProCheck, WattChecks, right, which will deal all these things, how your structure quality is, right. So once we will deal all these things, then only we can say that our structure is good. We can take these structures based on these responses, and we can use this structure for a particular disease. So these are the URL I am just mentioning here, you to explore it, right. In that there are plenty of approaches are there a part of this, right, like a genomics approaches, proteomics approaches, system biology approaches are there, high throughput screening already we have discussed, molecular modeling approaches which we have discussed, right. Okay, and plenty of technology, really new technology are there which are impacting a lot to identify the targets and validate the targets. So right, so these are the website and resources, if you can find out, right, that would be really good, right. And these all are the things you can do easily. If you have any questions, any difficulties to explore these things, kindly you can text me, WhatsApp me, and you can post the comments on that Google Classroom, so that I can send that solutions, I can reply you, I can mail you, and whatever the resources, even you can come in person. Even the best possible way is that you write all these the problems whatever you are facing exploring, and you can ask in classroom itself, so that it will be useful for others of your friends to see and use and analyze the same things in their study also. So here is the databases, all the databases based on the some small molecule databases are there, some big molecule databases are there, where we can find that good quality of the structures, right. So if you say that I mentioned here some therapeutic target databases are there, protein expression informations databases are there, target toxin databases are there, pharmacogenomics data are there, protein data banks, 3D structure database house already you know, right, drug banks already you know, right, and many more databases are there, right, so that you can easily study and you can understand. If any difficulties, I am there, I am here to help you, right. So if you have any questions, now I have done it. If you have any questions, you can ask, and questions are always welcome. And as you know, each and every class I give sufficient time you to ask questions, right? So if you have any question, you can ask. Thank you so much.